Welcome. I missed my cue. Welcome, everybody, to the Winter Classic. Alongside me today, of course, I'm Laser Jesus, but Ryu, the coach, former player of Enemy. How you doing, bud?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
I'm excited to get that coach analysis from you. It's usually Chad and I. SoaR versus Obey. Gotta favor Obey in this roster, but so far, it's like Zach and Kev. We have a very aggressive CT side defense. And Obey, their reaction, they've already lost two of their players, so the rest of them are going to try to storm up long, but two players already at the A bomb site, and they have a bunch of players on the cross. The smoke goes down, but not soon enough. DSR will fall. This is a great start for SoaR Gaming. Maybe Obey won't even get the bomb down, so at least they get the bomb down, but a clean sweep from SoaR.
Yeah, I mean, very silver lining that the bomb got planted. Looked like SoaR decided just to push 3 at tunnels, and Obey was setting up what looked to be a slow default. The two players that ran into the tunnels both kind of sprinted towards lower, and the 3 players from CT pushed. Easy frags on the side of the head, and then the smoke at the cross. Apparently one of the players from Obey wanted to cross before the smoke landed. Paid with his life, and it was an easy 5v2 at the end.
Yeah, I'm wondering why the smoke was so delayed. Well, will we see the force buy? I mean, what do you consider a surprise buy at this point? Like, I only consider a surprise buy if you get the bomb down as a T side and then lose the round after and then force. That's one of the only things I consider a surprise buy at this point, considering like how the meta has developed.
Yeah, but not buying it almost makes no sense. Even after the bomb plant, you still see a lot of teams. I know we did it at the event this weekend. You know, if you get the plant down, you can buy up, you can armor, you can tech. In some cases, you can Galil. So, doesn't look like Obey's going to decide to do that here. They just bought a bunch of utility, they used it, and they're going to get punished coming out of the tunnels with no armor and just some B250s.
Yeah, they got wrecked. Maybe they can get the bomb down if we see a miracle out of Breezy.
It also depends, you know, on the map. D2 is a map that tends to play a little bit more even. On some maps that are a little heavily CT-sided, you're willing to take a little bit more risks early. T-side, you want to keep the economy of the CTs pretty low, and you know that if you can sneak out a round or 2 early, it makes a huge difference late in the half when maybe you only come away with 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And I gotta ask you about Kusta. Does he save for the AWP when you guys go for the force, or does he buy up with the rest?
Depends on what the call is. We've got a bunch of eco kind of set pieces that would require him to at least buy some armor and utility. Depends also on the map and the side that we're on. Most of the time I would say he'll probably save to get the op, but if it's a map that we expect him to rifle on early, he'll go ahead and buy up with the rest of us.
Obey. Now, rifles on board. Only one SMG. That's in the hands of Launders. Excellent caster in his own regard. But on the other side of long, that's Dolzy. Gets 2 for 1. Not bad. And they do have info on the bomb. Breezy's just going to drop that off. Take a peek towards long. Doesn't see anybody, though. Looks like they're going to go for a crunch on to A. But with this sole player at long with the bomb, if he goes down, that really changes everything, and then Obey would have to spend so much time, maybe even take through into the bomb site to go grab the bomb, but they're going to collapse onto A. Nobody peeking mid. And it's been long enough that SoaR may think the bomb has gone elsewhere. That's why we still see 2 committed at the B site. 1 in the site at A, and then Launders lurking about near elevator near the CT spawn. Just a matter of when at this point. We do have a smoke in the hands of no one. And he's going to drop that 4 CT. Thought he was going to save it for the retake, but he gets the frag onto Launders, looking down below, and they get the player. No, they don't inside of the A bomb site. Running out of time here is no one. He has to make his move, and soon. Excellent pre-fire onto Zach. 10 seconds remaining. Player peeking catwalk. No one has no idea. He has to grab the bomb. It looks like it was dropped towards rail. And he is going to go for the plant here. Nade coming through. I think Kev needs the headshot. He has wounded him. Gets the kill. SoaR. Starting off 3-0. And I'm really impressed by SoaR. I'm thinking the firepower was going to be too much for SoaR to handle, but so far they're looking strong.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if you caught that at the T's exited the tunnel at long. Dolzy was able to get 2, but he actually instantly got dinked by a Galil. If they had actually left the AK entry on that, he would have gotten no players down, and he actually got dinked and was still able to take 2. and a little bit closer than it should have been for SoaR. It is a round win, and that's good, but you can see their economy is still pretty low. It's an interesting little thing. I don't know if the stream caught there. The Galil going first was unable to get that entry because it couldn't get that first bullet headshot kill.
You're getting me hot and bothered with these details. I did not notice that, and it's a minute detail. It seems insignificant, but yeah, if the AK there goes in instant killed, then there's no kills from the SoaR side. Probably see Obey winning that round with that much long control. Now they're taking into long once more. Ooh, Breezy onto the pit player. There is one more player here, Launders. He's stuck up no man's land, and Breezy picks up the fallen AK. And they're going to commit on the long. SoaR is boosting Zach up into the bomb site with the AWP from Elevator. Gonna get a chance, hits the first one, immediate trade by Slemmy. Getting into the bomb site like that, they don't compensate for Kev, who's gonna grab two. Slemmy commits to the bomb plant, but he has the op. Probably doesn't want this weapon much, would rather prefer an automatic, and Kev is waiting for his teammate before he makes his move. I like this. Trying to guarantee the trade, and Slemmy takes a trip to Whiff City.
Yeah, Slemmy not really known for being an op, so probably not the best of weapons for him to have scooped up there. Actually looked really good coming out of the start. I think the pit player was Dolzy, and it looked like he was trying to turn for his teammate to flash. I'm not sure what happened there. Kev decided that he didn't want to live for the rest of that round. He didn't deserve to live, and so he took his own life.
Knees weak, just buckled. Dropping down into the spawn. Forgot I had 12 HP. That guy must be just jacked on caffeine right now.
Yeah, gravity is one of those things that you have a really hard time defeating, both in-game and in real life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how many casualties do we have from gravity, both in real life as well as in the game? A lot.
Gravity's a little overpowered. Maybe in the next update, Valve will nerf gravity.
Oh, God. They nerf gravity, and the fire already dissipates weird. I mean, we nerf gravity. That fire is going to look like it's in outer space or something.
New meta. Looks like Kev's actually about to take a 1v1 here in the tunnels, and he surprisingly wins that. Usually you see more than one player push the tunnels, Kev decides to go solo. No opportunity for his teammate there to trade, and fortunately he comes away with that frag.
Very fortunate. And they can easily be punished, as you're highlighting. Obey want to take out middle. They have a lot of members here, but SoaR, they have a crossfire set up. 1 for 1 so far. DSR hits the quick scope onto Kev. Should have been a trade by Kev, but DSR has a pretty sick op. Tad over aggressive for my taste at times. But he does get both of them at middle. And it's 1 for 1 into the B bomb site. Grimbles falls. Nades for the retake. We have Molly and 3 flashes. Zach's still sitting on that AWP. Smoke for the tunnels as well as the doors. Really limiting the options of SoaR when they take in. They're going to have to bust through a smoke or commit onto the window. Pop flash through. Doesn't affect anybody. And SoaR, they don't go in immediately after that flash. They go in off the second one, but that's equally as ineffective. Zach now trying to save this AWP. They don't have enough money to buy in the next round. Ooh, sick no scope. I guess he's just trying to do economic damage at this point. He will fade away, and both operas survive.
Yeah, it was very surprising they lost that. They had a big number advantage. They had a couple kills. DSR definitely a pretty strong op. Showed I think turned quite a bit of heads at the event this weekend in Columbus, Ohio at the MLG Arena, and he really pulled that round back. They had CTs were up in numbers. Looked like they were going to be able to hold on to that site, but the player in B was only able to take down 1 before he was dropped. And retaking that bomb site's extremely difficult. It played right by the T's, and as I mentioned before, the economy of the CTs had been kept low that whole time. They've only had a player alive the past couple rounds, we did have a player suicide. So we will see a save, and they're going to try to use the op to get an early pick. The good news is Kev's there to recycle it after that goes down on the ground.
Now, do you fancy a force buy in this situation because you have that AWP and the T's economy is low?
No, actually, one of the things that we did this weekend, which I'm going to remind everybody that we won about 400 times during this cast, but we actually had 1 round to close out the finals against Splice, which is live on the other stream right now. We actually had Kusta have the op, and we just bought some pistols around him, and that was it. And a lot of times CT side, it's pretty easy to do some risky plays early, but then recycle the op if you don't hit the pick on middle. I actually liked what the CTs did there. I liked what SoaR was going for. They boosted a pick into lower from catwalk with a player that's boosting, able to move it on. We'll see if Kev's able to hang on to this and save it again for the next round.
And Dolzy finds an AK as well. I mean, he's at middle. Trying to do economic damage. Ooh, Slemmy onto Kev as well. Probably could have played that late round better, but with this money, I don't think they're planning on buying anyways.
Yeah, this is one of those decisions where the money is enough that you can definitely see them buying, but if they feel like they really need ops to win round CT side, they might save, and that looks like what we'll see come out of SoaR here.
And maybe if they saved those weapons, we probably would have saw the buy. I'm liking that SoaR is doing crazy stuff on all their ecos. It's one of my pet peeves when teams just play default on ecos. What do you think?
I love it when they do it against us, but yeah, we generally, on our eco rounds, we're not going to play kind of the same type of setup at range like you would with rifles. So I do like that they're stacking this. It's generally a little bit better not to put all your eggs in one basket, because if the T's do a good job of scouting the site, you know, one player running into bomb site A right now realizes there's no one there, and then there's literally no risk. There's no need to take a risk fight B. So usually a 4-1's a little bit of a safer stack. You kind of get information on both sites, and it's a little bit lower than a 50-50 chance. Nice 1D there. We're getting the trade on the Ape.
I'm glad Ape dropped the prefix that he had before. Statutory Ape. Getting all esports. Nice job with what their investment was by SoaR, and they might even grab 2 rifles out of the situation. I didn't think they were going to get this many, and DSR. That's a big gamble. I don't like that peek out of DSR. Yeah, you're trying to keep the CT's economy low, but at the same time, you're the opper.
Yeah, it looks like Breezy's actually going to hunt this kill, and he's actually going to get it, probably save the op if he's able to track it down. Which he does. Yeah, it was a really good eco round for SoaR. I actually just heard their in-game voice comm. One of the players actually said that was a good eco though, which is 100% true. Totally in agreement there. Yep. You know, the thing is, that was a 2v2, and the player at long decided to challenge that, and it went down pretty fast. With this new, are we using the new 40-second timer? Because the 40-second timer leaves so that 5 seconds is so huge that if that had been a 2v1, I'm the CT. I'm probably going for that.
Oh man, that would have been a tight window, but yeah, it could have been. Zach starts us off. Refrag over towards middle. You know, everybody from Obey. We got that T-ball right now. T-ball working into the B-bomb site with 4-man strong. Kev was rotating out. Yeah, this is actually only 1 player in the site, and they take him down. 6 stuff from Obey.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know who made that call. I'm not sure what was the IGL right now for Obey. But they got that early pick. They made a lot of noise. They got spotted going up catwalk. They immediately threw a mid-B smoke and dropped down the lower. And you could see the rotation on the minimap of 3 players fighting towards A. 1 player that actually came out of B to rotate to middle and then was out of position getting back into the site to let DSR walk in and get that kill. Very, very nicely read by Obey. And it looks like they're saving double op. Looks like Zach and Launders each have ops. And just for a little bit of troll, I don't believe Launders is streaming this match. So that's good news for us here on this stream. Terrorists win. I'm going to take the silence from my co-caster to mean that he is no longer with us. Might be having some technical difficulties. Either that or I'm talking to myself and no one can hear me. But either way, I'm going to continue to talk and we'll get see. There he goes. So we will see a force buy come up here. We do see 2 FAMASs. Their double op setup is up on CT side. And full buy with no op up on Obey Alliance. Looks like they're doing a very, very fast long take. I love this thing. Breezy's going to get one. Long right there. He will get traded out. And I believe my co-caster has returned to join us this evening.
Yeah, my mic card's a little loose. I got a little excited and bumped it. I was talking to myself. I thought you were just ignoring me for a moment. Looks like Obey. They're throwing the bomb across the long. They don't get it all the way across, though. I'm wondering if Kev realizes this. Misses his chance with the AWP. And SoaR again might save in this situation. It's really hard to retake. They don't have position on long. They don't have position on catwalk. And, with
and retaking with 2, well, actually one of the players just dropped the op in favor of an M4, so.
Makes me think they're gonna retake.
I think they might fall out. They really don't have a lot of money. They are on the max bonus, but saving here, they're very unlikely that they'll win this. looks like Obey's kind of found the rhythm, starting to run away with this. Took a couple good long spawns. They threw that really customary long smoke that lands right on the corner, and then they just had Breezy run straight to it, flash through it, and were able to get that first pick. And then after that, it was just spraying through some smoke and a couple trades, and the site was falling.
That's what I've expected coming into this match, was just the firepower of Obey. Probably too much for SoaR to handle. Definitely going to see the entry fragging ability. And SoaR saving again. Both rounds they've saved previously, they survived with 3, so still can get a decent buy out of this. Zach looking to head towards long.
Something that we don't see, a lot of NA teams have a really hard time understanding when to save and actually saving. You know, they're like, I'm going to save, but I'm also going to take this peek. Oh, now I'm dead. It's really good to see that SoaR's able to save these guns, because again, they're on max bonus, and keeping those gun up, you can look at their economy now, plus 34 if they don't win this round. It's a really, really good place to be, CT side. Despite losing, it's with a score of 4-5, having the ability to continually buy because you're saving weapons is really good.
Yeah, I'm really liking that as well. Just nice and diligent. We didn't see that out of DSR with this op at long. Might get Obey into trouble later, but if they keep winning, the economy probably not going to be an issue. Especially if SoaR is saving as well. I mean, this does give some opportunity for Obey to save, but they have been hunting. And this round trying to work into B. It looks like it will be a mid to B split. They did have Breezy causing a ruckus over towards the A side, but now the entry begins into this B bomb site. We do have Launders as well as Grimbles here. Didn't expect the players to come out mid. How are they caught so off guard? Looks like neither of them were even peeking it.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a mid-B smoke, so it looks like there was.
Yeah.
They actually, the CTs went 2-2 on the sites there, and StatApe missed a shot on the guy peeking tunnels, but then saw a second player on the platform. So immediately they knew there was 2 at B. I'm actually surprised they didn't decide to split A, because it's easier to split A generally if there's 2 people there and you've got all 5 hitting it, or in this case, only 4. But yeah, mid-B smoke got off from the CTs, and StatApe's presence kept both CTs focused on him. And this is not a round that SoaR will be able to save a gun.
No saves for SoaR. Still, yeah, we can see what it does for their economy. Saving 3 players in the second to last round that they had lost allows them another bye. So despite 6 rounds in a row, it's really impressive that SoaR is still able to buy.
There's 3 ops up on the T's here.
Wow.
I don't know what to say about this. I guess they might pick the cross and drop. They have a lot of money, but they don't have that much, so there's a chance they stick with these 3 ops through the round. Kind of an interesting middle of the first half strategic decision there.
Is it a decision, or did somebody preemptively buy the op? Even 3 ops. 2 is pushing it. 3 is
I think they saved 2. There's definitely one that was purchased after the start of the round, so interesting decision here.
Yeah, who bought it? Who's down low? I can't tell with the economy where it's at. They're going to have to rock out with these 3 ops. I was thinking, since 2 ops shot at middle, if SoaR was going long, you wouldn't expect an op to be there after you hear 2 op shots fire simultaneously at middle. Long control for Obey. Yeah, bomb as well as another one lurking at middle as well as B tons. I'm a bit worried for Obey here, because if Slemmy tries to collapse onto the A bomb site, he's only going to have 1 teammate with them. But if more picks come out of Obey at long, that will alleviate some of the pressure from Catwalk. Now we'll begin to see the delayed 3-2 split, but hanging onto the Catwalk is Zach. This is what I'm worried about. They need this trade, but Zach's just going to straight win. Still another player here hanging onto the Catwalk. That's Kev. Traded off, and now just Launders. He really likes this headshot position down by CT spawn. Did the bomb drop?
It did. I don't know if Launders saw it, though, because there was a smoke there.
Oh, man. That was fantastic for SoaR, and it looks like he has identified it based on the way he's playing. Or at least I would assume. They do get the bomb, and they immediately throw it up. I like that. And now DSR takes the fight. Very aggressive. It's the same thing that makes you dangerous, that makes you vulnerable, but that time it works out.
I'm not sure. Grimbles ran away like he wasn't going to go for this, and then maybe he thought there wasn't enough time. Didn't realize the bomb had been tossed up, and then came sprinting all the way back. I think they should know that one of these players is low. He has a chance to actually pull this off if he's able to take this kill on Ape in the site.
If only he had a nade. Kind of change things, but DSR will save his teammate. Maybe didn't need saving, but yeah, Obey. After the first couple again? Guys.
You know, I'll tell you that gravity thing, it's still overpowered.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ape, but Gravity has more kills than Ape right now.
Oh man, right in the kisser.
Correct. The burn. No, Bay, 7 rounds in a row. Looks like SoaR. I agree with the force buy at this point.
Yeah, again, they're still on max bonus, so they can pretty much FAMAS if they want around. And it's been 7 straight. They haven't had an answer after the first 4 that they took, so see if maybe they can come up with something here. We do see some early aggression into lower B by Grimbles. I don't know if he's going to find DSR, but he's making a ton of noise. DSR misses.
Oh, Grimbles. Oh, he can't complete the kill. And SoaR actually, at the beginning, went a 5-man mid-collapse. Don't often see that on a gun round. More of an eco strat. But now the bomb site for Obey. An Ape still inside the T-spawn, just being a nuisance. SoaR looks like they will commit. Still worried about the flank as Dolzy full white hits the shot onto Ape. You gotta be confused at that shot. Dolzy just gonna save this AWP. Doesn't want to char himself to death. So 8-4 for Obey.
It's another round. Another lost round for SoaR. I did like that they tried something different, because what they've been doing hasn't been working, but I think if they're going to try something a little risky, it should be towards the long A. Seems like anytime Obey has a decent spawn for it, they're able to get out there, and we saw the one round with the triple off setup that they basically just posted 2 offs at long, and they sat there and very, very, very slowly made their way on the A. So running up mid, you're not going to be able to spot those players, and there's only 1 player in tunnels. Would like to see SoaR make a little bit of a change here and maybe take the fight at long.
There's one thing you could say about SoaR is they are definitely working together. Kind of the situation we pointed out on the eco round strat, committing, like having all 5. I like a 4-1 just for intel in that situation. And Kev will trade off a frag. Nice deeg at long. Ooh, Grimbles, I like this spot over towards B. Just lurking barely on the edge of the smoke. But if Obey let it dissipate, this should be a kill. On to Grimbles. Oh, up close. DSR will fall. Quick trade by no one. And that is the bomb inside the B site. He's alone here. Zach, if he frags him after the bomb has been planted, no kit, so they can't hop on it immediately. But Obey's really spread out. Ape's going to take a long time to join the fray. There will be a 2-on-2 inside of the bomb site, or perhaps outside. Only nade for the retake will be Molly. Through the window. Slemmy will cover him in time. Not a damage detail. But SoaR at this point, they gotta be sick and safe.
Yeah, I don't know if Dolzy... I think Dolzy's going to be trapped here, so I don't think he has a choice, but not too much of a silver lining, even if he does save that weapon.
Okay, so they're sitting Ape in T-spawn. This is so confident and so risky. And if Dolzy commits, there's a pretty high chance that he'll juke himself out, because why isn't Ape near? And now, eventually, Ape's probably going to get the free frag exiting Dolzy, and that hurts.
Yeah, Dolzy's probably like, are you kidding? Is he really still in spawn? Yeah, that was a little bit of a risky play. I did like that no one realized that they were going to rotate to him. He had the bomb. There was no need to force the plant there. He actually waited until his teammate was in the site with him, which was really good. And again, still no answer from SoaR. They took the first 4 and they haven't had a round win yet.
Yeah, that's been it. See Grimbles wielding the op for the first time, at least that I've noticed. SoaR sending 3 players long. They're going with the delayed peek with the pop flash over. Obey it. They're working it with DSR. This guy can definitely entry frag. Ooh, Launder's getting aggressive here. And he does get the frag onto Breezy. Not the easiest of weapons to trade with. DSR doesn't want to overextend, but elsewhere they lose the player inside of B.
I don't know if you just saw that. That was a beautiful shot. The tunnels were smoked. No one was crouched and just tapping through the smoke to the back box. The CT stood up and just took a bullet to the head and went down immediately.
That's painful. And that's Grimbles with the AWP as well. First time he uses it. Doesn't even see anybody. It looks like DSR has fallen in the meantime, and he's the only player with control of the bomb. Launder saw the bomb was outside of A?
I don't know. I don't think he saw it.
Yeah, I don't think so either, just based upon the positions. But the T's are going to rotate and get that bomb eventually. Ape will grab it. And with B site control from no one, oh, Dolzy. It's like they're attempting retake into B, but Launders catches no one peeking. And that peek may be a bit of a tell, because Launders is already skeptical that it may not be B, but he's heading into tunnels, and this rotate's just going to take ages.
I think this is the first time in 2 rounds that StatApe has decided to leave T-spawn. I feel like he's probably just mad, like, I can't believe you guys are making me leave. And Launders has no idea where the bomb is. And this is not a fast rotate.
Now it's 5 HP. At the same time, it's a 1-on-1. You're down 4 to 9.
And the bigger problem here is that in order to make up for the time lost by thinking it's the wrong side, he has to sprint, and now he knows exactly where he is. He's going with him, and he misses.
Ooh, he does have the nade, though, and that should be the checkmate. In comes the nade. There is that. 10 for Obey.
And that was another round that started big in the numbers for the CTs. They should have had that round. They actually said in their voice game, like, I can't believe we might lose this round. Another player went down, and sure enough, they ended up losing the round. So they've got to be pretty frustrated that even the rounds that they have a chance that, you know, statistically they should win, they don't. And here comes the offs and the autos.
Oh my god.
Him and the cross.
What kind of cross was that? Brimbles. He gives him a wide target. It's almost like he was escorting his teammate. I don't know how you messed that up.
And what's funny is usually when you do that, you send people fast to B. And if you hit the cross, you go to B. But now they're actually coming back and playing long A instead.
Yeah, screw the meta. Nosy. That long 1-for-1, but the scout of Zach finds a wounded DSR traded off by no one. 2-on-2, another situation where it's not too bad for SoaR. Top flash by Launders. It was good timing. Whiffed by no one, and Launders will get another round on the board for SoaR. But it took them a long time, and there was a lot of favorable positions that they were in. And that's concerning.
Yeah, they probably should have maybe 7. I would say that they had rounds where statistically you would say, hey, there's like an 80% chance they win this. It's like a 5v3 type situation. And they find a way to kind of squander the round. And it's interesting that that's the round Obey loses. Again, usually when you do that, you get that pick on the cross, and you know that you tag the other guy with the auto sniper, you hit B. The rotates are going to be having to come over. You still have an all for 2 posted on the cross back towards B, and the B player is already dead. And instead they did that, they dropped their guns, and then they ran along A, and they ended up losing that round. Interesting to see if that comes back to bite them here. And again, this is, I don't know if we mentioned it, this is Obey's pick. We did see Obey almost eliminate WinterFox from the MLG Minor on this map. They lost 16-14. They had a couple rounds where WinterFox players, specifically Anger, just went absolutely insane and won a couple rounds that WinterFox probably shouldn't have won, and was able to bail WinterFox out in that match. So Obey is pretty good on this map, both halves, and I think that's probably why the odds going into this on the lounge reflected Obey, I think 80-20 if I remember it.
It sounds about right from the last time I checked. While we're at halftime, don't forget about Intermax. Got sick cases, my favorite. While we got time, go ahead and check out the Ostrog Pink on their website. If you're looking to troll people on LAN, nobody wants to lose to a guy that has a pink case. Also sick power supplies, coolers, tons of sick products. Check it out. I'm currently powered by it myself. Back to the match here. 10-5 Obey. SoaR's going to need pistol.
Yeah, they need this pistol in a big way. It'll be interesting to see. You know, we saw on the other half the start that SoaR had was really good. They won that pistol. They played really, really aggressive CT side. Interesting to see if they reflect that same style here on their T side pistol run.
I'm wondering how quickly it will be. One man towards long. That's Launders, and he'll be bluffing the long rush as good as he can. And it's not an instant commitment out of SoaR. Launders saves a flash. He's worried about potential mid push. We do have a tunnel, or 2 players kind of push mid, just sitting at the bottom. I don't mind the Yangs with the USP. Launders on the catwalk. SoaR just waiting outside of B there. Launders is just waiting for Launders' call, because he's pretty much the info getter. Just waiting to see if he can get any frags, potentially pull a rotate. So far, if this lower tunnel player doesn't peek into upper, there's only 1 player at the bomb site. That's no one. But I do like his position. Hard for the Glocks to deal with. Ah, never mind. Running and gunning with the flank. It's going to be quite swift from Ape, and it's going to be fast enough that I don't think SoaR will be ready. It has been spotted, so bare minimum, Bomb plant for SoaR. With 2 players coming on the flank. DSR, Obey coming up big and completely wrecks SoaR. What do you think of that pistol? I mean, Launders goes down and then they just rush B. I don't think that's good enough of a fake.
No, I definitely don't think, especially given the position that we saw. I think it was no one and Ape in the tunnels. They could see it was only 1 player. They could hear it was only 1 player, and there was no need to rotate the guy who was back plat on B away. That's a really, really tough spot to dispatch somebody of. I think he was only able to actually get 1 from back there, but you usually have the T's sitting there strafing back and forth, fighting him for a while, and allowed a really fast flank. And Ape was in a great position for that execute anyway.
Either CT starting pistol, the USP, or the P2K, fantastic at that headshot box on plat. The good old-fashioned B rush from SoaR here. They got 1 pop flash. They do get Grimbles down. No bomb plant. Nicely done. Was that 3 players there from the CTs?
I think so, yeah. And
nice.
it was a rush with Glocks.
Sick weapon. I mean, I don't know how you get the bomb down with just Glocks. Everybody says pistols are sick in this game, but forget about the Glock.
You know, I'm not going to name the team out of respect to the team, but there was a round last season on Overpass that we full Glock saved, and we ended up winning the round with 2 Glock headshot kills on people that didn't have helmets. So, in this situation, it's unlikely to happen. It was pretty fun for us last season.
All right. Just gloating. I'm excited to hear more. Working up long?
And because they did save, they did buy this round. They actually took their long spawns, they took the fight. They were able to get 2, but no one's already pushed in from B. So a nice rotation from him. It looks like he's bringing this back down. This is still a pretty close round, just given the HP we see on Dolzy. It is close to a 3v3 right now. And we'll see what SoaR's going to call here mid-round.
And no one taking a gamble, leaving the site B open completely. It's up to SoaR to identify this, but what? There's no CTs in the area.
The best part of that, I think, is the fact that I'll let you cast the rest of this time.
No, tell me that.
It says Launders just saved Kev by killing his teammate.
So there's 2 people shooting at each other. This is ridiculous, and they're probably gonna win the round. Yeah, there it is. Launders just saved Kev by killing his teammate. All right.
Yeah.
Still got the retake from no one, though. This is possible, but planted for long as Grimbles doesn't fail this. Should be okay. Launders playing the time. There's extra time on that bomb, of course, and now no one has to play whack-a-mole. Looks like there's a body in the area. Sticking it, Grimbles. He doesn't see him. He's going to get to the fuse. No way. Grimbles fails miserably.
That's a rough round in like 19 different ways. They started up with big numbers. They lost another player to bring it back closer to a 3v3. It was a 4v3. I think started as a 5v3, and then then there was a TK under questionable circumstances. We kind of laughed, but they ended up coming out on the better of those trades, despite their player going down. They had a 2v1. Launders played it pretty well, did not take any risks there with a 1v1, and no one made a great read, and Grimbles just was in the wrong spot, wrong area for that plant.
I don't know if that's a read or.
I don't know if he thought it was planted a little bit further in the open, but yeah, he peeked up against the tunnel wall and couldn't see the bomb from there, so he immediately lost a good 3-4 seconds on that.
Yeah, there's really no excuse for that. I mean, it's either miscommunication or Grimble's error by not peeking in time. We have a long engagement. Oh, Bay. They were down a man, so trying to even things out with Breezy. No one to follow suit. And Slemmy and Ape. I mean, if I'm them, I'm just trying to strip weapons away at this point. Of course, they can go for the W. If they lose this one and they take away maybe 1 or 2 more rifles, I mean, upon winning the round following, that's probably GG.
Because the CTs only had 1 player left, you see Stat Ape there carrying the MP7. They actually SMG'd this round. I think they were expecting a save, and that was not what they ended up running into. They ran into a couple Galils and some AKs. And just like that, only 1 player up the round prior. All players wiped on that round, and now we'll see the CTs on their first save of the half.
Yeah, gonna be a double as well. Quite low. Let's see if they're as creative as SoaR was on their ecos. So they bluff that they're at least having a couple members towards the B side, and then we'll have a late or mid-round aggression out mid. Looks like they're playing sound cues. I do like this strat, but it just seems the teams have just been guessing wrong on the ecos.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying before. When you have no one in the site, and actually SoaR didn't even scout it. They kind of committed everybody in it. They're still kind of clearing it, but just like that, they walked into an empty site. They guessed right, and those are 50. That's a 50-50 there. You at least have one player. Sometimes if the one player gets a pick early, the T's say, "Oh no, there's one there. Fall back, go to the other site," and they run into the stack.
I don't really like where they're posted up for exits, though. What is the last player doing? All the way over towards B? Who's that over there? Ape with the Deeg. Looks like he really just wants to save his Deeg for the next round. I suppose it's more expensive than the P250s. You never know. That Deagle can create some crazy situations, just like the 5.7. And everybody exiting long for SoaR. It seems like SoaR's making a lot of right decisions. So in a lot of those situations, and unable to close on that round after they TK'd. Something's not going their way.
Yeah, it's a really good start to the half. I mean, there's nothing that would prevent them from making this comeback. I think we'll see the CT save one more, and that brings it to 13-8, and another win after that might put them on an eco again. We saw how heavily they favored the ops on T side. I'm not sure if we'll see the same out of their CT. But a team that's really dependent on the op is super dependent on the economy. And a couple round wins in a row can break that very easily.
So similar setup from Obey. This time they have one man on the long Ape. Breezy gets two. This is massive economic damage. An Ape with this saved Deeg. See if he can do some damage. The bomb and another working up. Ooh, this could be big. Ape spots out one atop mid, but can't finish the kill. Dozy on to 8. And yeah, whoever's going to be opping is going to not have all that much nades.
I think actually Breezy dropped that to DSR.
A nice guy. Ooh, they do double.
And this is what I was saying. We saw how much they preferred the op over regular good old-fashioned AK on their T side. So the bad news about this is if you look at their economy, the most left on a player is $300. And right now they're on a $2,900 bonus. If they lose this round, we'll probably see another save. And a great opening on Catwalk by Lunders on DSR. One of the ops is already down.
Yeah, that's a big pick. And Kev, I'm wondering, is he going to stick with this auto? Looks like there's an AK inside of the spawn. Okay, he is going to stick with it. Interesting. You usually see this a lot later when the economy is out of control, and then the T side will go with those autos. But I don't like the auto in these sort of situations. You got an auto, an op, and an AK.
I have no idea what Dolzy and Launders just did. They ran out middle with no mid-B smoke into a crossfire, and they both just died doing minimal damage. I don't understand that decision at all.
They need that Ryu coaching. Kev, Grimbles. Last two players up. See if they follow suit and just rush out mid. Kev with the auto. Do you pick this up as the CT side? It's tempting because it's such a fine piece of machinery. You don't want it to go to waste. But, I mean, in a retake scenario, I don't like the auto at all.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know if that was a misbuy or if Kev is just the best T-side auto player we've seen in NA. I don't like that as a weapon, period.
Is that an accolade you really want?
I mean, it's not one that I want, that's for certain. And this is, again, another round. Launders takes down one of the ops super early. They have a man advantage. Then two players just sprint out middle with no smokes or nades into a crossfire and go down. I don't understand that. And they more or less put this round away, barring some really nice shots coming out of the players remaining. And as I say that, one of them goes down. So now it's all up to Grimbles.
It was Kev with the auto trying to give him the Walking Dead with the auto.
Now, the good news is the T economy is very strong, but they just let a bunch of CTs survive with guns, and there's a chance that we'll see. It looks like only one up for the CTs this round.
Yeah, SoaR gonna win this match. Definitely need this one. Potentially put Obey back on a double. Their economy's pretty staggered. And another reason I don't like that auto buy is it's a $5,000 gun. It's just like an AWP. And Zach going for the entry frag over towards B. Lucky to make it out there with his life. 47 HP remaining. Good smoke by Obey. Slowly
I'm
gathering
okay with
mid
what
control.
they did there. He tried to beat the smoke and get the pick, and he had a couple teammates there to potentially trade it. That looked way better than what we saw last round.
Yeah, more coordinated. At least there was a backup plan. I mean, Zach goes down. All right, you're down a player. You can still execute something. But if he gets the pick, immediately bust into that B bomb site. It would have been a 3-on-1. Ooh, there's a big entry onto no one. He was playing the headshot. Looks like SoaR will shape this up to a mid to B. Ape still hanging onto the B bomb site. One rotate coming through that Slemmy in the CT spawn, playing above the smoke. But SoaR still just feeling him out. They don't want to commit right away. They're still going to go for the mid to B. Lots of utility still in play. And Slemmy's, again, playing above the CT spawn smoke. Ooh, the spam, preemptive, before they come outdoors. Now it's up to Ape. Can he hang on to the players coming out tunnels? Oh, they're collapsing all over him. 4 men in SoaR. That's the entry. Kev, the man to do so. And is this a commit or a I guess I like save in this situation, but they're not able to buy in the next round regardless.
Yeah, maybe sit somewhere safe to get exits and try to keep these guns up, and sometimes you can, especially with that off up CT side, try to make a play, maybe take a round that you shouldn't next when you think that or when the rest of your teammates are probably going to be saving. That was a really nicely done mid to B there.
Yeah, that opening pick by Kev, or was it Zach? No, it was Zach onto no one in the back of the bomb site, and Ape is crunched upon. To be fair, Ape kind of struggling at B. I mean, if you're that B player, you should be able to get at least one coming out of the tunnels. And the second one was an operator. It could have worked out differently, but SoaR making a comeback here. And if they can keep Obey in the economic cycle and keep that economy low, but any more rounds from Obey is tie point.
Yeah, and actually, I really like the way they set that up too. They tried to take that pick early. They waited on the smoke to fade, and then they had an AK go out and peek the guy behind the box. Shot a couple times. They kind of exchanged some bullets, and then they rotated the op in, and the AK fired a couple more times and then left. So you know, the CT that was, I think it was no one behind the box, was peeking and expecting to see an AK, and was met in the face by an off bullet. And the CT's decided to force here.
Big switch of pace out of SoaR. They're going to commit onto B, which may be their demise. I was liking the slow work from them, but it looks like they're confident in their B take. And 2 members were outside of the site, very close from Obey. I'm a little surprised they just forfeited the bomb site. Wow, I didn't even see that one. DSR. He's got the eye right now. And just 2 members of SoaR remaining. Launder is really wounded. He's trying to play headshot near closet, but Zach has to do a majority of the work. Obey was thinking about sending a member flanking tunnels, but have since backed off of it. Now comes the retake, good pop flash. Down goes Launders, and Zach has to come up massive. Hits the first one, that was a swift shot. And he's looking for the bomb planter. He's trying to give him the big body. And the meat shield pays off.
Yeah, that was a really tough post plant there. I don't know, Launders was playing that headshot angle. If you stare down, your head tucks and they can't really see you. And it kind of looked like that's what he was setting up. And then when they came into the site, he actually jumped up on the box. So I don't really know. Maybe if he accidentally jumped there, he's got kind of a loose scroll wheel perhaps. But he was not able to get a pick on that, and they were able to 3v1 the last guy.
Not a spot you often see Panic jumps from. Well, Zach, he couldn't fall back. He's committed to that op peak, just standing in the fire like a monk.
Oh, yeah, I think he got flashed and didn't realize it. Nicely done by Dolzy to bring this back, though. Breezy was getting a little too careless there. Took a pretty poor risk just being on the other side of the doors with the smoke in his hand to throw that. Got spotted right as the smoke went down, and Dolzy's able to punish, even it up, and there's a chance that SoaR takes this to continue playing map 1.
Yeah, if they take this one, Obey looking at a double save. At that point, be 12 to 15 if my math is right. So this is closer than it would seem, in my opinion, as long as SoaR can take this round, and that's a key frag. Slemmy the victim at long. Now DSR's up on the catwalk. He's going to go towards long. Grimbles is here posted for him. This pick is pivotal. Whoever comes out on top of this duel, Abe. Oh, DSR jumping all around the bomb site. Peeks out wide, but he's under threat. And Dolby will get the kill. There is a gap in the smoke, but Abe can't punish, and the bomb gets across. But they don't plant for long. This got Grimbles in trouble before, and he is the man posted up at long. He does have somebody joining him. Out of long comes Ape, promptly dispatched of. And now no one just gonna save.
Nice round for Dolzy. He actually is sitting on a 4K looking for the ace here. I don't think he would he'll chase this, but he evened it up at long A, had really good cross replacement, was able to get that kill on the Slummy and long. Was able to take down I think it was a DSR jumping around in sight with low HP, and then get that pick late at long. He played this round very, very well, keeping his team in map 1 here.
Yeah, we've seen Dolzy have a few of those rounds. The one you pointed out with the Galil leading the charge. And Dolzy ended up getting 2 frags out of that. So, key player for SoaR thus far.
I think Zach's going to take a pick at B. I don't know if that's something we can put up there, but he's got the spawn for it. His teammate they just kind of puff past that op over to him, and he was looking that way, and then as I say that, he runs over to mid.
Yeah, I mean, do you still do it on an anti-eco?
I probably wouldn't. Sometimes you'll see nades, sometimes you'll see more than one player, and it's really hard to do that against the op. I really like this setup.
Sick setup. The pop flash over long could have yielded better results, but the idea was there, and yeah, that could have easily worked the other way.
Should be a pretty quick round. Yeah, it ends up being pretty quick. A lot of teams will actually do that. They'll send 3 players, maybe 4 players with pistols long. One player will sit back with a flash, and somebody will shoulder it. When they see them, they try to get them to commit out of the doors, and the second they do, the pop flash comes and everybody fights. They did that, except it looked like there was a smoke there. They kind of had a little bit of an addition to that, and could have worked better. I like the idea, but they weren't able to rain those shots down.
Yeah, that smoke really disjoints it, and with everybody on the corner ready to go. Not the greatest of angles. But yeah, the situation I was pointing, SoaR taking that key round, and now the double save from Obey. This is the second save from them. SoaR likely going to move up 12 to 15. And at that point, Obey has what, 2 gun rounds left? Yeah, unless they can somehow win this round. They're going to go with the mid-flash. 3 people passing through the B tunnels. This could be devastating for the SoaR lineup. Obey's backing up. Looks like DSR ran out of bullets. Say it with your chest. I like them pushing straight in there. I mean, they're looking at a full buy next round anyways.
Bomb has been planted.
Economic damage irrelevant unless they get like 4 kills a round. I don't know. What do you think? Should they have just committed?
If I'm committed on the take there?
From the lower B push, they kind of fell back instead of rushing through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with how it turned out. I think I was just going to say, if I'm DSR, I'm probably going to save that. They've got a couple guys on their team that definitely prefer the AK. So coming out of here with the gun isn't too terribly bad. Helps on the economy a little bit. And every little bit matters now that we're getting really late in the match. But I'm okay with that. I was actually very surprised and DSR is going to go down, so he wouldn't end up saving the AK. DSR, I think, did a ton of damage with the USP. And on a gun round, when you're getting USP'd in the head at range, it feels terrible.
Right. You get the dink-dink. The Law and Order sound. 8 and DSR double op setup out of Obey. So 2 gun rounds left. They lose this one, save the next. Last round for the win or for the tie. If this goes to OT, I don't know if you caught any of our earlier matches, but we've already had 2 OTs today. One of them going into double OT. Setup from Obey. They get long control, rotate DSR back towards Catwalk. SoaR grouped up at lower B. It looks like this will eventually be a mid to B. Now the bomb coming up towards long. There is a player pushing. Slemmy thinking about it. This is a big gamble, and he hears something drop. That's so much intel for Obey.
Looks like SoaR's actually going to take this up Catwalk. Slemmy should be able to hear that they're running the cat. So close to long doors like that. Great intel just from listening intelligently there.
And he heard something drop as well earlier. It's hard to assume if it's the bomb or not, but it's just one player. Yeah, like, why would he be dropping the bomb to himself? Gotta be confusing for Slemmy. When he's not pushing out long, little does he know this timing would be perfect for him.
There he goes.
Yeah, SoaR. The longer they wait, the more dangerous this gets, but something spooked Slemmy. Usually he's a very confident, aggressive guy, and now he's going to go for it. Wow, the collapse is on. Slemmy tries to take the fight. I don't know if SoaR will realize that he's there. But 8 and DSR, the deadly op duo so far, and things are falling apart now for SoaR. Zach needs a miracle, and he's not going to get it. Double op setup pays off in the end from Obey. Not a bad showing from SoaR, but they just couldn't get it together on their CT side.
Yeah, and again, those 2-3 rounds that they kind of threw came back to bite them. That's probably the difference in that match. At the very least, it's 14-14 if they don't give the rounds that they had those 5v3s early.
Yeah, and who knows with the economy? I can't remember what it was like in those situations, but could have got them some free rounds. But on to Mirage we go. 1-0 lead from Obey. So don't go too far. Ryu and I will be right back.